Hey everybody, Joseph here. I'm gonna walk through building doors in Terminus today. For those of you that are not familiar with the game that I'm working on, it's a simple multi-path stealth conversation or exploration game, a little bit like what I want to steal is the values of Super Metroid, where you can discover new things, acquire abilities, stuff like that, and the top-down perspective of like The Legend of Zelda or the old PS1 Metal Gear Solid. So today, one of the things that I'm going to be working on is doorways, and I mean that in the sense of like going upstairs, or not doorways like this passage here, but to be able to teleport to different parts of the map. I already have triggers working, but what I'm going to be doing is taking the code for the pressure trigger, which checks every couple of frames whether or not somebody's standing on them, and I think I'm going to subclass this, so class door, to, as a default action, teleport somebody to the parent site. Now this is going to take as the constructor a variable which is target, and this could be null because when we first create the door, it might not have a destination. Like we have to construct one of two items first. And this is going to subclass the trigger, pressure trigger rather. And the action here is going to take our entity, maybe. And then if the entity is not null, I could use the Elvis operator, E, colon whatever. Then when it's triggered, we're going to take, if we have a partner, so if the entity is not null and our target is not null, then we will e.position. I'm wondering if I should copy it or just assign it. X equals target.position. The pressure trigger is a subclass of actor, so I'll probably just teleport them to the center of the coordinates. So target.width, divide all that by 2. Yeah, I think that's good. And then we do the same thing for the height. Target.y, target.height over 2. Some other stuff. Oh, and triggers final, but I do want this to be inheritable. And the other thing that I'm going to do for this constructor, we're still in the constructor, mind you, is the cooldown time. That should be, oh, yeah, and then close out this function. There we go. So that is the action we will perform on step. The cooldown time is going to be 0, so you can walk back in immediately. And then can cooldown while occupied is false. So in this case, it won't just teleport you to the location and then immediately teleport back and forth and back and forth. I think that should be enough. Yeah, I would have thought we would need more for this, but I think that based on the way we've constructed the pressure trigger, we're in good shape. I should probably, in the initialization function, so let's actually open up, it's an init. If door is specified, so we'll create one with a null instance and one with a not null instance. If target is not equal to null, then when you go from A to B, you also go from B to A. And you can say door, target rather, if target is not null, and target.target is null. Target. I should have access to this. Oh, well, raise condition right here. If between testing whether it's null and actually testing it here, if somebody comes in and modifies it, then we're going to get screwed. But I don't care. So if the target isn't null and the target doesn't have a receiver, then target equals this. So when we create two, one of them will be the first door, and that's not going to have a receiver. Then we'll create the receiver, and we'll link them both together. That should be good. Now what I need to do is I need to, inside the level, have a door trigger. So this is going to be door, door, and the first one is going to be, how do I want to do this? So it's easy enough to make the door, but I'm going to have to either give them a name or find some way to link them together. I could just give them destinations, and I did that for an older game, but it got really hairy when it came to like linking together the tile set and places on the map, so I'd really just rather be able to specify a recipient name. And towards that front, I think all the entities have names. If not, then I can just give doors names. Let's see, does actor have a name? Stage parent, yes, it has a name. So what I can do is, inside this, the trigger type of door is that. And the name of the receiver, I gotta specify. How to do this? I kind of want to get fancy and use like something in here to check through all the triggers that we've added so far, but that might be not the best thing to do. We are building a big list of triggers. Alright, I think I'll come back to this in a second. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause recording real quick, think about this, how I want to do it, and then I'll resume. Alright, I have an idea. It hasn't been that long, it's been 30 seconds. What I will do is I'll have a list of doors, so doors, which I think I'll index by name. So it's going to be a map of a string to a door object. Actually, it's a mutable map of string to door. And when we encounter a door, well, we'll instead have this little operator thing happening here. And I'm going to check. So this will be a, we'll still have object properties, so object of properties, and I think it's name that we'll get. It's going to be, first let's make a door, okay. So there's our door, fantastic, and it's not going to have anything linked to it. We'll get this door's name, so d.name is equal to object.properties name. And I'll assume this is not null, which is a bad thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then I'll try and look up a partner for this. So, if, oh, we also need target name. Object.properties target, not null, as a string, and then d.target is equal to obj.properties. Let me move this target lookup right here, and when we instance our door, we're going to say doors dot get or else. Actually, getter default works just as well. Our target name, null. So now when we run through here, I'll worry about that later. When we run through here, it's going to first look up the target that we're checking out, and if we have already passed through that target, we've added it to the doors list. Otherwise, we assign this door null. Now we update our door's name right there, and we add the door to the big list of doors we've seen so far. Add, so doors d.name is equal to d. And then if we run into a receiver, we'll be just fine. I'm missing cannot inline bytecode built with the JVM 1.8. I have my target specified wrong somewhere. Default value null. Doors. I should be building with 1.8 more or less everywhere. Mutable map, blah blah blah. Alright, I'm going to fix this compile error really quickly and then I'll jump right back into it. Alrighty, so it turns out the solution to my problem is just to throw my JVM target inside of the core build.gradle file. I just specify JVM target 1.8 and I'll worry about the desktop, which is being built with 1.6 later. So, getting back to the topic at hand, we have our target lookup, we have our door that we create, possibly with a null value or the other door if it already exists, and then this method in the constructor will check to see if this is null, and when we add the new one, we'll look up the old door, we'll set it, and then we'll have doors that kind of match each other either way. So, that leaves us the matter of just putting this inside of the map. Now, what I think I'm going to do is, yeah, I've got this entity layer, and I'm going to draw a door frame right here. There will be a little bit of overlap, but if I remember right, the touch trigger doesn't engage until the player center is inside of the door. And now let's give us some custom properties. The custom properties that we're looking for are target and our name. So first, this is going to be type trigger door, and this door name will be room A. That's all the custom properties we have, right? Target and name. X, Y, W, H are going to be set by the map. And then, do we need anything else? Let's see, trigger type is the one that's going to be, yeah, we also need this as trigger type. So let's give this a custom property, trigger type, door. And I think this we have to call trigger. Let me just check to see what I did for the other one. Oops, not that. Okay, so trigger action, trigger type pressure, so trigger type door, type trigger. Yes. Type trigger, trigger type door. Perfect. And then our target, which we can define here, target will be also room B. And we'll make this particularly confusing. I'm going to duplicate that. D. Let's go over to the end of our hallway. Fun. Right, this is going to be room B. Our target will be room A. Let's save and run our game and see what happens. I crash. Gotta cast a non-null. Oh, trigger action. Trigger action. Empty string. There we go. Oh, and each of these is looking at what's to be done in the function table. I think is this my exception? Yeah, this is my exception. I'm not going to throw an exception, but I am going to take this and I'll print a line. And then I'm going to make this a to-do because I don't know if I want to keep that method or just like call it door and have it a no op, or if I just want to ignore the prompt, because I do like having the report that it's not finding the action. You know what? I take it back. I'm going to leave that. And then inside the function lookup table, which is defined in the main game, function lookup table, I'm going to say that empty string is going to be a no op. Entity. I think I'm missing a parenthesis somewhere. Entity. Oh yeah, there we go. Until then, no op. Which will, now that I think about it, get called every time we walk through the door. So I'm just going to make this unit. Alright. Still some problems. Null pointer exception. Get triggers. D.name object properties is null. Ooh, interesting. Let me see if it's actually object.name. Object.name is, in fact, that's the one. Okay. Now, can we walk through this door? Yeah. And it does nothing. This is why we can't have nice things. Let me see. We got the alert when we left, so that pressure trigger is working. I'm going to jump back into triggers, and let's say our pressure trigger action, run trigger, just to see if we're actually, hitting. Okay, so we are hitting it, but either the entity is null or the target is null. So let's debug. It's probably going to be the target. Oh, yeah, this one. Mute. Continue. Alright. So, what is null? We do have an entity, and that is the player. Our target, in this case, is null. Aha! Continue. So, why is our target null? It must mean that when we constructed our door, we didn't get target? Target, a string. Get a default target name. D.name. Well, let's step through. We only have like 2 doors, so there's no reason we can't step through all the code that loads and see what's going on. First step, our target name. What do we have? Door. Room B. Okay, so we got room B. That's good. And now when we step into this, the constructor, we will hit the init, I assume. The target's not equal to null, which it is. Oh, actually, I screwed up that logic. It should be if the target is null, we look at the target and we pass it to this. This is when we first create it. So this target is going to be null on the first pass. And then if we, so if this thing's target is not null, and if this target's target is null, then we want to specify that this target's target back to this one. Okay, so we got everything hooked up. But I'm still going to have to step through to make sure that I do this right. which means that'll hit on like the first call or the second call, or something like that, depending on the order in which they're loaded. All right. Our target name. Target name is room B. Continue, and we're going to hit this. This thing's target is in fact null, which means it will skip over that. And we're going to stop again, and now we should have room A, which we do. And now when we step into this, our target is room A, and target excellent, should be this. So room A now should receive this as a target. So let me make sure that D has that correct value. Door. Our name is room B. I thought we already loaded room B. Okay, but our target's name is room A. Our target is not null. Let's see if we can expand target. Target, room A's target is room B, so we got that link. That's good. Add that to the big list of rooms. And now, just for the sake of curiosity, I'm going to open up doors. I've been saying rooms, but I meant doors. Room B, aha! Room B appears to be linking to room... Oh, well, that's the name, so yeah. Room A to room B, good. Room B to room A. I feel like an optometrist. Room B or room A? Room B or room A? And continue. Fun fact, if you pause the, if you're moving in this and then suddenly you pause it, the time delta will continue to increment, and then when finally you unpause, you're going to get rocketed out in the direction that you were traveling. Trigger this. Is E null? E is not null. And our target is null. This is why we can't have nice things. This, what is this thing's name? This let me see if this works. This has door. Target name. Interesting. Target. Can I get that here? Target is null. Interesting. Alright, I gotta figure out why the target is being left as null. Maybe it's not being properly set when I have this captured in that location. I might ignore this problem and instead, during the level loading, do a little bit of swizzling. So D.target is this. And then maybe we can worry about one-way doors a little bit later. So, no. And I think that does a better job guaranteeing that it'll get hit. The flip side is, I'm going to jump over to door. I'm going to get rid of this init code. I can get rid of the body of this. And now let's see what happens. Alert. We are triggered, but we're not. Alright, I'm going to debug for just a minute and I'll resume recording when I figured out what... When we left our heroes, I was having problems associating the target with this door, or rather, when it was calling the trigger function, the target seemed to be null. I think I have that figured out, and the reason for that is I'm capturing target when door is first created, and when I do the reassignment, I still have this trigger function that's constructed before target exists. Now I can get around that sort of kinda by having a local action. I can define like execute trigger or execute action. But unfortunately, these methods call the trigger action directly. I'm thinking it might make sense to... My options are twofold. I can either create an overridable method that calls trigger action, which is probably the simplest way to do it, or I can have an accumulator that takes all the unpaired doors. So I do one pass through the level, build up the set of doors, and then do another pass where I bind them together and add them all to the map. But that feels slightly less clean and involves a lot of unnecessary iteration. So what I'm going to do is... What I'm going to do is back in here, I lost track of where I was. Back in here, I'm going to call open function, so I can override it, fire trigger. My hand is slightly fire trigger. And by default, all this is going to do is call trigger action. This should take an entity. Entity. Maybe. So trigger action, entity, trigger action. Okay. I guess I could also make the trigger action a var instead of a val, so I could reassign it, and then when I did set door, I could overwrite it. That might be the better way to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note. To do, if we make the trigger action val instead of var, remove the call trigger, what do I call this? Fire trigger. Fire trigger, and make a set door target method, which rebuilds the action. And then here, in fire trigger, I'm going to say, if we make trigger action a variable instead of final, this is not necessary. It's built for the door. If the door can reassign trigger action when a new door is made, we don't need it. So now I just have to override fire trigger. Entity. And I want to take this basically. So by default, it's a no-op, doesn't do anything. And when we're stepped on, we'll take this. What? Can't create door target. Did I spell that wrong? Oh no, I no longer have this. So var target. There we go. And this again has to go to promise pinky square it's immutable. Pinky square it's not going to be null. Really. And what are we complaining about here? Maybe I'll call this entity just to match up with the parent class, which means I do have to check here, rename that to entity, rename that to entity, rename this to entity, and now finally, do the right thing, motorcycle back on. To do the right thing, I need to check. Here we go. Trigger action. And instead, we're going to call fire trigger with our stepper. And here, push button uses a trigger. I might be digging myself in a little bit deep with this, but I'm going to ignore that for now and see if we get our teleport. Maybe. This appears to be teleporting us to the same location. Or not. Well, breakpoints. A few of my favorite things. Alright. Entity is our player. This is room A, and our target is null. What do you do? So what's our level doing? Get by name. We should be setting our target. Are we? And we're adding it to the doors. Oh, just remember it. This syntax is approximately equivalent. Target. Oh, I need to be calling that slightly above. So replace this. There we go. And I should probably also do that thing where we reassign the receiver class. Target. Not null. Really not null. Switch this. Fingers crossed. Nope. Oh, one more time. I'm pretty sure we're going to get. We were hitting this, but our target is null. Ooh, excuse me, and that is because I wonder if we're actually. Yeah, we must be calling this method, so we're good there. But our target is still just null, so we're probably not reassigning it or something. Okay. Entity is null, or not null. Target is null. Oh, target is room B. Okay, that's good. Neato burrito. Target.x. .x. Entity.position x. Oh. Maybe we are actually. I'm confused. It could be we're assigning this to itself or something like that. Which would explain the little jump. Alright, I'm going to run this again and see if we have a little, like, skip. No, not that I see. I do see the triggered. Actually, let's try running into the one at the other side of the hall. What happens here? Pass over it. Oh. Yep. See right down there is saying triggered. Well, let's debug. we're hitting it. Yes. This is room B, and our target is room A. Our target's target is room B. Okay. We've got all those links down. X. So, oh, I have some. I'm a little soft up top. Target.width is going to be like 36-ish or 32-ish, and that means I have this wrong. This should be divided by 2, and this should be divided by 2 as well. Otherwise, we're going to throw our player into the halfway point between like 36 and our x at like 1300 and our width at like 32, which would teleport us into nowhere land. So, let's try this. That doesn't explain why we weren't jumping around, but we should have seen ourselves like in the middle of nowhere. Trigger. But no teleport. Trigger, but no teleport. I wonder if my position setting is wrong. Position set. That's a very real possibility. I don't think I have any tests on this position. That would be really neat. Okay, so advance. Oh, wait a second. This is a get operation. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so here's what's happening. Oop. I'm knocking over my desk. Okay, I have a method that's returning position. Position is a bit of a wrapper for my entities because I don't want to have to convert between the libgdx vectors and my vectors, because I think the GDX vectors are designed to be they're optimized for the following usage. You want to spawn as few of them as possible, so most of the operations are in place. And that's really hard for me to deal with because I hate saying like foo.normalize.add 10 and then having the original vector modified. What I'd like to be able to do is just like set values and get values. But what's happening here is position is getting called, and it's calling this get method, and then spawning a new vector. So what I need to be doing is calling set, and to do that, I should say entity.position equals vec, and then I have my x, and then I have my x, and my y. And a comma. Shuffle that over. Now, we should be correctly calling the teleport. Okay, that's a start. It's bonking me around, but I think I have my values assigned it correctly. Or possibly there's some act that's happening, which is like I could be hitting the teleporter, it's teleporting me to the new position, and then the physics update is setting my X location back to where it was. If that's the case, I'd have to move I'm going to undo this real quick. I think that's still the case, but just to err on the side of caution, let me see, entity.x is equal to this, and entity.y. I shouldn't be touching these values directly, but I'm going to do it anyways, just for the sake of experimentation. Let me out. Here we go. Okay. My position is being set weirdly. Right. Where do we go from here? Where do we go now? Okay, I know that it's being the trigger is being called. We're okay on that front. I guess I'll just step over this and see what my value becomes. And if it becomes the new value, that's great. Ah. So entity, my old position, 1322, 627. Step over. Now we're inside set, which is good. That's a good sign. Position. Yes, this looks like the position of our other target. So let me see what our target is. This target. Yes, it's halfway between our. It's at the very center of our target value. But now I'm going to watch entity. Step. Step. Oh, are we teleporting back immediately? Okay, what could be happening is the pressure trigger will not do a cooldown while we're standing on it. Like, it's configured so that if you step on pressure trigger, I mark it as triggered, and then I call the action, do whatever, and depending on your Boolean flag, it could be that you're triggered. And then while you're standing on it, the cooldown timer isn't going to time out unless you have another flag set. What I think might also be happening here is we're calling trigger on door A. It's teleporting us to the center of door B. Door B is triggering and teleporting us back to door A, which I was trying to avoid by setting this value, can cool down while occupied, to false. But what I've got to run, I think, is target dot triggered is triggered, whatever the value of is triggered is. I wonder if that's private and super type. I don't necessarily want to expose this, but I'm going to protect it. And now I hope that when we step on this tile, it teleports to the other one. Alright. So we've got doors working. And now I can build a stairway or something like that. I totally dig it. Okay, well, thank you for coming with me on that confusing adventure. That's how we make doors. It's that easy, right? Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll talk to you again in the near future.